Hi there! Here I review movies and television shows. Today I want to talk about Longlegs. It's a horror thriller about an FBI agent investigating a series of brutal murders. Osgood Perkins wrote and directed the film, which stars Micah Monroe as FBI agent Lee Harker. It also features Nicolas Cage, Blair Underwood, and Alicia Witt. Okay, this film is a cult mystery that unfolds slowly. It starts by throwing you into the deep end with Agent Harker. We have a series of gruesome murders, an unusual suspect, and seemingly supernatural circumstances. As Agent Harker investigates, we learn a little about the victims, their deaths, and the killer. There are also intense scenes of Harker and her partner searching through dark and spooky buildings. You see little flashes of movement behind them and hear the creaking of wood. Every once in a while, they throw in a gruesome murder for shock value. In the end, the story wraps up neatly with just a touch of the supernatural. The protagonist, Lee Harker, is a no-nonsense stoic type. She's incredibly awkward around other people and doesn't know what to say, so she just stays quiet. When it comes to investigating, she's a wizard who can spot patterns from a mile away. She's also a little bit bland and has no sense of self-preservation, but serves as a good lens for the audience to see the case unfold through. Opposite her is the mysterious killer Longlegs. He's a psychopath who kills by convincing others to do his work for him. He only appears in short stints and presents himself as an ordinary person with an erratic demeanor. He's also heavily interested in children. As Agent Harker chases after Longlegs, we see short stints of him scheming and creeping people out, and short flashbacks to his past. The story starts with a good bit of mystery and is consistent with its themes and events. After the opener, they start slowly. Things get a little bit monotonous, and as details are explained, they lose a lot of their initial shine. The characters are somewhat bland. They don't delve too deeply into the killer or his motivations, and the supernatural elements go completely unexplained. There were some creepy moments and a few brutal kills, but ultimately I was bored watching it. The cast is fairly small, with a heavy focus on the lead. Most of the other actors are playing FBI agents who don't get to do much aside from reacting. They show off some good fear reactions and pockets of emotion. They do a good job of setting the stage, but aren't overly involved with progressing the story. Micah Monroe gets the lion's share of the screen time and does a great job with what she's given. She plays a stoic FBI agent with a mysterious past. As she goes deeper down the rabbit hole, she finds herself losing her mind and being tormented by Longlegs. Monroe does a fantastic job with her reactions and does a great job delivering a highly emotional performance after the reveal. She did well with the trauma of the role and presented a normal person's reaction to supernatural experiences in a down-to-earth way. Nicolas Cage as Longlegs only gets a few minutes of screen time but manages to make his performance over the top and extreme. He does a bit of rage yelling, sings happy birthday in a disturbing manner, and gets to show off his deep breathing exercises. Cage is hard to look at and incredibly uncomfortable to spend time with. His character is like a physical representation of walking on eggshells. Both leads do their best to tell the story in a convincing manner, but find themselves constricted by the lack of focus on character development. They spend a lot of time on exposition and reacting, and the rest of their performances end up falling to the wayside. Production-wise, the film does a solid job presenting the journey and backing it with a creepy soundtrack. It takes place in a rural area with a slightly retro look to all of the buildings and costumes. They use a lot of contrast and low light to create heavy, dark atmospheres for the characters to play in. The tense moments include a lot of good editing and movement in the background, as well as a few solid murders. The murders tend to be gruesome, but not overly gory. By this I mean that you're going to feel the impact of each kill, but you won't have to look at any body parts flying around. The film's big moments aren't overly memorable, and there aren't many standout shots, but they did a good job of drawing out the tension and presenting it in a clear manner. The soundtrack includes a lot of short instrumental tracks that are meant to add a spooky element to the environment. There's a chorus of people moaning, the chittering of piano keys, and buzzing tracks that are reminiscent of bugs. The music tends to add a bit of atmosphere, but isn't overly memorable. There's a few original songs too, but they're few and far between and don't have much impact. Personally, I found this film to be watchable. There's a good bit of mystery, and the leads are doing their best to make it work. The visual journey is clear and cleanly presented, and the soundtrack works effectively to support the story. It's not the most memorable of movies, or even the most exciting, but if you like cult mysteries, it does the job. On a completely unrelated note, I'm going to go watch The Ninth Gate. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 5 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Bye-bye!